Hi, it's the third weekend in May, and we're going to look at the raspberries. And we have, let's go in here and we'll take a look down the chute here. They're definitely a lot different than when, remember, the pictures of just the naked canes there. Now it's really full, and they are starting to really fill out too. We've had to go in, and we need to keep going in to thin out some of the new canes. Because now the new canes here are about, let's say, 3 feet tall, my knee, which is pretty tall, and the old canes we cut to about 5 feet or so. So they're getting to the point where they're almost, won't be long before they're as tall as the big guys here, the ones that are bearing the fruit. So we need to basically make sure we control the population there, thin them out, and not let them go crazy while they're still shorter, because when they get really big it's hard to control them, and plus we want to be able to see in the bottom of there and see any weeds and get rid of them. So here's our new guys, looking big and super strong. So and here's our older ones in the last year, put in their nice little brackets to hold them plus identify them. And there's our fruits. And so you can see here's our little berries there, or well, will be the berries, little flowers. Some of them are closed, some of them are open, and you can see right there the berries starting to form. I don't know how well you can see that, it's kind of dark over on this side of the house, but that is what we have. So those little flower membranes become the berries. It's very cool and exciting. I love this part of this stuff. It's just the magic that happens in going from a, you can kind of see it here, it looks just like a nice little flower, and then they're starting to be the berry form, and that whole little thing right here, this white part that I'm touching, will become the berry. It's very cool the way the berries form. It's not like any other fruit that I'm aware of where normally, it just little pears are little pears and they just get bigger, but these guys are just so different. But anyway, so let's take a quick look there, slow look so we don't get motion sickness. And those are our raspberries. So this beds look fantastic. We still need to do some thinning. We've done a bit there, but we need to keep going more. And as I said, you can see here, this guy is not that far away from being clipped up there, and he's the new guy. So we got to keep the new guys under control so we don't get too dense. We want it to be nice and airy and be able to have plenty of room for everybody and not have too many canes growing, so that we don't run into overpopulation as well as weeds and stuff like that. In this, obviously, there's a huge difference in this side of the house than the other side, because that side's been well established. This has just only started to come out in the last year or so, a couple years, and this is kind of what we, a better picture of what we want to see is easier to see. The new canes there, the old canes there, they're coming along, but it's literally night and day if you look at the south side versus the east side of the house. And that's because there used to be a giant tree here on the south side, and it excuse me, blocked all the sun. So this part, which is huge and overgrown, and this part here, which is like almost sparse looking, still good and will be continuing to be established, especially now that we have it in some nice little parameters, nice little barriers there to keep them up there. So anyway, there's our raspberries. Going to be looking for a good raspberry crop this year. Can't wait till those start to come up, and then we can enjoy the fruits of our labor, literally. So anyway, that's the raspberries. Like I said, the next week or two we'll see a lot more of those berries. You can see a bunch actually here. There's one there, and then one there, and there, starting to form up. It's pretty cool. And anyway, that's it for now for the raspberry patch.